Oh no, boys and girls, a weather report for May 24th, 2021. And we have Atheist Jr. and Scott and David and Topdawg with us. And we have a couple things linked in the description. The first one is a wonderful, AJ has a bunch of really good Hovind videos. I mean, how many do you have? Like 100? Oh, you're muted, AJ. Unmute. You're still muted. Still muted, AJ.
There you go.
There you go.
We good? Okay.
No, you're good.
I probably have like 20 videos at least. And I also want to say that this is my face reveal, basically. This is my first time being on camera on stream.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Speed.
Yeah.
I know this is a big
debut. Right. Yeah, it's a big moment.
Why did you choose?
Because one of my patrons.
What's the reason? Any particular reason?
One of my patrons was nice enough to send me a webcam that retails for like $70. So I've had some people who wanted me to be on cam, and I figured basically since I accepted the webcam, I would feel rude if I didn't use it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I was able to make this like kind of cool setup behind me anyway. So, and I figure, it'll lead to me getting more subs and stuff, and why not?
That's what they claim. I don't know. Anyway, there's a video featured is Kent Hovind a racist, which is excellent and worth a watch. And I think you guys ought to take a look at it.
Thank you.
It's about 20 minutes long, something like that. But yeah, I think the way you do your videos are humorous. They're it's entertaining as hell, and also informs us as to the nature of this piece of crap. Is basically what he is, a blight on humanity.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying all that. That video, I mean, me and Speed watched it earlier on offline stream, and it's not one of my funnier videos. It's a tough watch, honestly.
It is a tough watch, but
I think it's an important video for anybody, especially if somebody calls himself a fan of Kent Hovind. I want them to watch that video and then tell me that they still want to support Kent, or that he's not a racist, because in my opinion, it's undeniable. And those are just some of the clips I found. There are more. Like Hovind said the N-word on a video recently. Hard R just said it. Like,
really?
Wow.
Yeah. Kind of amazing. Let's see. The other thing.
And the stuff he said about Jews is ridiculous all the time, talking about jokes about Jewish people. So I didn't include that stuff, but there's, I made that video a while ago, and Kent has said a bunch of stuff since then. So,
well, the guy is so obviously deeply racist and born into racism that he doesn't even realize it. He doesn't even know how he would not come off. I think he's clueless. It's like it's in his blood. It's just amazing.
Well, I don't know if you've ever heard Kent talk about like Adolf Hitler, and then he says like, this is Hitler's hit list. Like, and Hitler thought that the blonde Nordic were the master race, basically. And then he says how that basically says that he has blonde hair and blue eyes, and that he's Norwegian. Basically implying that he would have been part of Hitler's master race if he would have made the cut. Which, saying that the master race was Nordic people is not true. It was people who were Aryan, which is several different countries in Northern Europe, and like specifically Germany. Like Hitler cared about people who were from Germany, not like just Norway. So it's weird that Kent isolates just that one country since his ancestry is from there. In my opinion, Kent's beliefs line up with that of a white supremacist, a white ethno-state type person.
Yeah.
Especially if you see the video that I made, and then when you see that, and then you see Kent, who has made this same joke for decades, and he still makes it. And it's basically him saying, "Oh, I would have been a Nazi."
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird. Like, Kent, you're weird.
Yeah, he would have been.
Hey,
Okay,
one thing
so
I never hear is Eric, his son. I don't see him profiled too much. Do you? Does anybody else?
Well, he's got his own ministry of God Quest.
yeah. And he's different. He's followed away from Kent, obviously, because they're suing each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I know some people have said, like, did Eric steal Kent's ministry when Kent was in jail? I don't personally view it that way, because that's what Kent says, and I'm not going to agree with Kent. Eric basically did, in my opinion, what he had to do when Kent was in jail, because Kent specifically told Eric when he had DAL in Pensacola, not that he wasn't ever going to make his ministry 501c3 incorporated. He did not want it to be that way. One of the reasons he listed was, the government can make you have X amount of gay ministers in your church if you're 501c3, which is just bullshit. But he says, the government decides who is or isn't a church. So Kent goes to jail, and basically Eric had to either make DAL a 501c3 or it would be lost to the government. So he basically had to.
Yeah.
So Kent gets out of jail, and then Eric has formed his own ministry of God Quest, is a 501c3 and DAL, and he was using the donations that were going to Kent before to support him and his mom. And then Kent gets back, and he views this as Eric stealing all of his property, stealing the ministry, and stealing all of his money and donations. So I personally just don't see it that way. Now, in the years since then, like, I'm sure Eric has done some shady stuff, but I don't personally think that he stole stuff from Kent while he was in jail. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think Eric's inclined to follow in his dad's footsteps in regards to illegal goings on. I think he's pretty careful about it, and he's more. Yeah.
Eric, in my opinion, is a lot more like down to earth and lucid than his dad, which that's not saying much. But in terms of being on board, God Quest is basically squeaky clean. Like, Eric is not as much of a sovereign citizen as his dad is, and but I heard I don't know if you saw the video a couple years, maybe like a year ago, when Kent was publicly blasting Eric on his channel, and he said that Kent said that he went down to Pensacola and went to Eric's ministry, and Eric called the cops on him to have him leave.
Wow.
Which shows there's definitely tensions between them, and I don't blame him. Kent treated Eric horribly his whole life, basically.
Yeah.
So
I heard he has another son too that you never hear about, doesn't he? Kent?
Kent Andrew.
Yeah, I think that's actually standing for truth.
No. No.
It could be. I don't know.
No, they don't look anything alike.
Actually, Stanley is actually my son, as everybody knows.
Well, Matt Powell is my son. So
who we have to keep our eye on a little bit is that Alex Cox guy that I told you about.
Yes,
that guy is an asshole.
Yeah. We got to keep an eye on him, because he claims that he's gonna pack everything up and go to Kent's dinosaur land and all that. He says he's gonna do it. So,
well, there's something odd. I think now I don't know if I caught this right, but when Rush Limbaugh died, Alex Cox appeared. I think it's like this reincarnation kind of thing going on.
Maybe.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, except worse.
The funny thing is, he openly talked about a story that he basically he didn't get into great detail about it, but he was doing the same thing that Kent did. He got involved, and I think he was involved in some sort of a ministry, and there was a ton of money, and he was doing shady stuff. I assume basically just like what Kent was doing, and the FBI knocked down his door, and he said he only spent 2 weeks in jail for it, I guess. So somehow he got off, but yeah.
But that's something.
Oh, yeah. So he openly talked about it on a stream. So, yeah, so we'll have to keep our eye on him. I wonder if he's going to end up down there or what.
Yeah.
He's a fan. He's a fan of Kent's.
Yep. That doesn't happen to atheists because we have no meaning in our life. So the IRS never knocks down our doors.
I would love to. Maybe it's off topic, but I would love to play that clip of Danny again that I played for you, Speed.
Sure.
Do you remember? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just screen share real quick. I would love to see what the other people think about this.
Yeah, I caught you guys. You and Danny were having it out a little bit on AJ's channel, right?
Right.
What was that, yesterday or last night or something? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been extremely clear with Danny what my criticisms of him are, and after doing a stream with him yesterday, it's my opinion that he's simply a contrarian who just wants to disagree with me because he doesn't like me, so he's going to disagree with everything I say. Okay, yeah, add my screen share if you can.
You got it.
Yeah, I mean, the way you're defining it, atheist activism is such that, so, old Earth creationists could be behind the movement, which is kind of, so then it's kind of a misnomer.
Well, not really, because old Earth creationists don't really accept human evolution.
No, a lot of them do.
That's bullshit, Danny. That's bullshit.
No, I'm sorry. You don't know what you're talking about. A lot of old Earth creationists, have you ever heard of a theistic evolutionist? Have you ever heard of theistic evolution?
Yeah, but
okay,
that's generally not human evolution.
John Lennox, for instance,
group.
Do you know who John Lennox is? He debated Richard Dawkins. He accepts human evolution, right? A lot of people support John Lennox and those ideas.
What about Hugh Ross?
Look, giving a counterexample to my counterexample doesn't make any sense. I'm just saying that. Look, listen to what I'm saying.
Well, he's an old Earth creationist who doesn't really accept
I'm not disputing that.
evolution.
I'm just saying, look, I'm just saying that there are a lot of old Earth creationists that accept human evolution. You are making the claim that they don't.
Yeah, I've never encountered that. They always
okay. I never encountered that. Therefore, what? They're none?
They're creationists.
Do you know what? I guess you don't know what I meant.
They're creationists that accept evolution. That doesn't make sense, Danny.
Well, then you and I mean something different by old Earth creationism. I just mean like theistic evolutionist.
That's a fundamentally different thing than being a creationist.
Sure, I'll accept I'll accept the confusion in terms. Maybe I should have just been very clear. I mean, there are a lot of Christians that are accepting theistic evolution. Okay.
Yeah.
And they could be in principle and support some of the claims and some of the atheist activism that you're suggesting.
I mean, yeah, they
could. That's just to say that atheism activism, the way you define it, is a misnomer.
Yeah, that's basically it. So Danny basically was telling me that because we were talking about atheist activism, and then he was saying that he was basically equivocating old Earth creationists and theistic evolutionists. And when I told him that those are completely different categories, he told me I didn't know what I was talking about. And saying old Earth creationists accept evolution, which is just like ridiculous to me. I don't know. Did that clip make any sense to you guys?
Well, I'm not sure about the line of demarcation between old Earth creationists and theistic evolutionists. I will say that before I decades later left Christianity, I was a theistic evolutionist, where I accepted the entirety of evolution except for
evolution?
humanity. So
except for what?
Except for humanity. I thought I just
exactly. That was my point. Old Earth creationists don't accept human evolution, and the difference between old Earth creationists is that they are creationists so they don't accept human evolution, but a theistic evolutionist is somebody who's a Christian, but they think God used evolution to create animal species, and they do accept human evolution. So it's a fundamental difference. But Danny was like equivocating the two. And I told him, like, you're saying these are creationists who accept evolution.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the reactions down in the chat.
Yeah, I'm
here.
looking at the wiki entry for old Earth creationism, and holy shit, there's a whole bunch of varieties. There's
Leo, I wasn't saying rejects evolution. I said rejects human evolution specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many different groups, and there's so many different doctrines, and you know, it's kind of hard to separate them. You know, I think so. I think Danny could be right the way he's looking at it, but you also could be right because of the view or how you're encompassing old Earth creationists. You know, so I don't know. It almost seems like you're kind of both right. It just depends on how you, you know, categorize them. I guess
I've never heard of evolutionary creation. I've only heard of theistic evolution, which like I said, Hugh Ross is an old Earth creationist, and he does not think that human evolution is true. But theistic evolutionists, I mean, I guess I don't know, like, one. Well, Cy Gart, I think, is one, and he knows a lot about evolution. So my point was just that those are two fundamentally different categories.
Yeah,
but the thing is,
I do know what I'm talking about.
You guys started out with talking about Aaron Ra, and then talking about atheists, and then you mentioned atheist activism, and then Danny went down into that hole, and then he kept going into like further definitions where he claimed that basically Christians could be atheist activists, and it's like,
right. He kept saying that Christians could support atheist activist goals, which I was like, yeah, I guess that they could, like, it's technically possible, but it's just not something that I see happening in reality, because like I said, that one of the things that atheists consider activism is protests at the Ark Encounter. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of Christians who are protesting at the Ark Encounter. And I don't think there's a lot of Christians who are going to be protesting a nativity scene being put up at a courtroom, or, you know, government officials praying before they do meetings and stuff. I don't think Christians are going to fight against that. It's groups like the Freedom from Religion Foundation.
Can you find the part in that video where he claimed that he was a physicalist when he was a Christian? Which, to me, is the most ridiculous.
What does that mean? A
physicalist would hold that all things, including mind and consciousness, are physical in nature. So mind and consciousness would be physical entirely. And I think the metaphysical version of physicalism is that there can be nothing else but physical things, right? And by physical, we mean, you know, fields and particles and energy, and everything that we know in the cosmos is physical, and that there is nothing else. And if you hold that view, where would soul fit into it? I don't understand where soul... You other guys, don't you think that's kind of a ridiculous claim, that you're a physicalist and you're a Christian?
Yeah, I don't know enough about what physicalism is, but yeah, you would just almost have to have a belief in the soul to endorse what the New Testament says.
Honestly, I think there's stuff that Danny said in that video that was a lot more outrageous than the physicalist thing.
I thought that was the most outrageous thing he says.
Well, did you say that physicalist means you think the soul exists or is real?
No, that there would not be any soul. It would all be just the brain. So your mind and everything you think is from the brain.
Yeah, I guess that doesn't make sense. But it makes sense to me that Danny, when he was a Christian, would like have beliefs that Christians don't have. That just makes sense for Danny to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, you're
Like
right.
he when he was a Christian, he was probably like one of those Christians who was protesting at the Ark and like tearing down nativity scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just to be contrary.
Leo is
and
about to
the-
serve me, everyone. I can
And
sense it.
the soul, it just means emotions to me.
I would just
So-
love for Brenda to elaborate on how I don't know what I'm talking about.
A soul would be much more than emotions to most people that think the soul is essentially, at least in some sense, the thing that is you. The thing that makes a person who they are is what we call the soul. It's hard to speak about it in terms of being an object because obviously it's not an object. You can't point to something and say that's a soul, but it's more than just your emotions. It's your emotions, your thoughts, your beliefs, your ideas, your opinions, your character, all of that stuff.
Has anybody seen the Disney Pixar movie Soul?
Yeah.
Yes, it is excellent. I love it.
Great movie. That was a really interesting take on that. I really like that. Also,
I'm also a big fan
the
of John
soundtrack was
Batiste. So
the soundtrack was produced by Trent Reznor, which is great. So I love Trent Reznor.
I like Trent Reznor.
I think
Yeah.
Korag has the best solution to figuring out what's what. Where was it? I had it up. He asked his co-workers if they're creationists, and I'm sorry, that's not the one. And then he sees what kind of face they make. I think that's a good approach.
Yeah, immutable. I'll probably be getting to that. So I did 8 weeks of DEE, Dr. Eigenstate Explains, and then starting probably in mid-June, I'm going to do another 8 episodes per week, but I'm going to be focused more on particle physics and fundamental interactions, gravitation, electromagnetism, Higgs mechanism, things like that. I was thinking about doing one on specifically creationist talking points, so addressing things that deal with, special relativity versus neo-Lorentzian relativity in an ether, things that deal with the speed of light, thermodynamics. But the next video I make, I'm probably going to start working on it either later tonight or tomorrow. It won't be edited, but it's going to be the first in a new series that I'm doing called Raw Refutations, because I got an indirect, so I want to put emphasis on that word, an indirect, mind you, response from none other than Dr. William Lane Craig on a comment that I gave on one of his, I don't think it was a video. It was either a video or a post that he was making, talking about the origins of the universe and the beginning of the universe, and he always appeals to the Borde-Vilenkin-Gu theorem. And I was engaged in a discussion with one of his commenters who just evidently did not understand cosmology, and instead of responding to me themselves, they copy-pasted my comment, sent it to Dr. Craig, and he responded to it. Of course, he didn't mention me. It was an indirect response, but it was my comment. So I made a YouTube or a Facebook comment on the post, but I'm going to do a video response to it explaining why Dr. Craig does not understand the BBG theorem and why he has refused, or really asking the question of why, despite the fact that he's been corrected by several PhD cosmologists over at least the last 10 or 15 years, why has he refused to accept that correction?
You seem very energetic because you've been rocking back and forth this whole time. Is that why? Are you just excited about being responded to by William Lane Craig?
No, not really. I'm just
surprised.
I'm just surprised that after all this time, he still misrepresents it, despite having been corrected on it by actual PhD cosmologists. Mm-hmm. But I'm not surprised by that. So,
well, I think Leo just came from the gym, so.
No, I didn't.
Or is going to the gym or something. I mean,
I don't go to the gym.
He's going to pull out a big dumbbell at some point.
You work out in the library?
It over his
no,
head.
I don't actually work out. It's just really hot.
Oh, okay. Are you one of those people who doesn't run their air conditioning when they're on camera because we don't
have an air conditioner. Well, we've got like a window unit, but I don't have one in my room. We've got one out in the hallway, but we don't have it in yet. So, I mean, it's not like 90-something degrees outside. It's actually, what is it? It's 28 degrees Celsius outside right now.
Sir,
in
Texas. I went to public school in Texas. I do not know what Celsius means. So
I'm not surprised. Most Americans don't know anything about the standard system.
Okay, I can barely read.
Yeah.
So it's 28 degrees Celsius out, and this is a really good scale. So 28 degrees Celsius is
Add
exactly
32.
eight-
Add
hold on,
32 to that. Yeah.
28 degrees Celsius is exactly 82 degrees Fahrenheit. So the 28 is 82. So you can use that as a gauge, and then you can say, well, 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you can 21 degrees Celsius is room temperature, which is about, I think, 73 degrees. It's either 71 or 73 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere in there. And
It's kind of weird that Texas doesn't use Celsius, because Celsius is bigger than Fahrenheit, isn't it? Isn't the degree?
Well, everything's bigger in Texas except for IQ.
Right.
Right. And number of abortion clinics.
How long ago was it? Wasn't the United States was supposed to transfer over to everything, metric and Celsius and all that stuff? We were a long time ago, and now
what?
Yeah, we kicked that can down the road patriotically.
Yeah, back in the 70s. Back in the 70s, I think that was supposed to happen. I remember something about that in school, but then it just never did.
Well, the problem was is the law that they passed didn't mandate that people. It just pretty much said, yeah, you can change if you want, but we're not going to make you after some given amount of time, which was the problem. They should have said everybody has 6 months or a year to slowly make the transition to the international standard system of measurements, and they didn't do that. They just said, yeah, you can make the choice, and so nobody chose to change.
You're
so
talking to
the change
boomers,
never happened.
Right? So I got dead air. I went to school in Texas in 1966 or something like that, and I came from Minnesota. And Texas had the greatest high school. They were 2 years ahead of Minnesota, and they allowed things like physiology as an elective in 11th grade, and just all sorts of really cool curriculum. And I was really surprised by that they were so good, and came back to Minnesota and proceeded to be bored to death. Can
I ask you a quick question, Speed? It's very much off topic, but the only person I think that would be able to answer this question would be somebody like you. Why the fuck did they put fingerprint technology on all of our devices when it can't ever read our fucking fingerprints?
Well, if you get them a little bit wet, the fucking thing can't read it at all.
Yeah, no, my finger is barely sweaty and not recognized, can't read it, can't read it.
My iPhone works all the time. All the time.
My MacBook, I've never had problems with it. Otherwise, when I know that I didn't get my finger on it the right way the first time. But other than that, I've never had any problems here on my MacBook. I don't really have many problems with my iPad. With this, I don't have problems unless my finger is even the slightest bit sweaty, and then
I hate that. Yeah,
and then it doesn't.
When you're going through the process of recording your fingerprint on there, what I do is I hold my finger at a shit ton of different angles.
Yeah,
that way it can.
I try to do that too.
Recognize it no matter what, but I haven't had that issue personally. But
so
my aren't wet when I'm using my phone. I'm not sure what Leo's been doing.
My twin sons have face recognition, and they can turn on each other's phones, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, Apple is building a database of faces.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to mention before we get too far into anything else that also in the description I have the latest Dufus Channel. He had propaganda with Carter, Dr. James Carter last night. They were reading a new paper that shows how abiogenesis is really improbable, and they went on. And Topdawg has done a thing on scienceandnaturalism.com, and I think you're going to name it. What were you going to name it? What did I suggest?
Journey to becoming a rational human being.
Yeah, and you got some definitions, and you got some other posts out there. So that happened, and you got to check that out. I am trying to get enough time to actually contribute to those two forums. I have high hopes for them, but I have not paid any attention to them. I've got a couple of dummy posts out there to see if I could do HTML, and that's about it. And then let's see, I put the Dawkins versus Lennox debate in that we were talking about earlier.
Book it.
and that somebody brought up. And what else is going on? Oh,
Speed, I love the thumbnail for this video.
yeah, I picked a good.
I gotta go look back and see it here.
Theo, you should
picked
watch
Oh,
a
yeah.
the video. You should watch the video that is sort of like, I don't know where it's linked, but the video about Kent Hovind being a racist.
It's in the top of the description. It's the very first thing linked in the description of this video. So
I did want to say,
play it on the stream or no?
yeah, I don't even want to.
I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to do that. That's
Yeah.
I did want to say really quickly to J Mike, I would absolutely love to have not even just it doesn't even have to be a debate. It could just be, just a formal discussion with Dr. Craig on specifically the BVG theorem, BGV, whatever, because he tried to make a big deal out of the fact that I got the organization, the order of the letters for the last names wrong in my response, if you read it, which give me about 5 minutes after I'm done talking and I can find it. And he makes a big deal out, oh, you didn't get the letters right. And this guy I know, Matt, who has 2 channels, and he's a PhD student in cosmology, I believe at Oxford, even said, yeah, if he's got to resort to pointing out your grammatical mistakes, he must not have much of a substantive response. But anyway, I don't think that Dr. Craig would have a discussion with me, because the one thing I have noticed about Dr. Craig is he often has stated in the past that he doesn't like having discussions with lay people. But what I've noticed is he'll have discussions with lay people. He's had, I think, 2 discussions with a Cosmic Skeptic, and there have been a couple others who are lay people that he's had discussions with as well, I believe. The problem is he doesn't like having discussions with lay people if he feels they're more educated than him in the subject.
Yep.
It could be.
Does that stand for beavers, gophers, and vermin? BGV?
No, Borde Valenkin Guth.
Yeah, I say that. Borde Valenkin Guth. I have a wiki. Let me see here. Okay. So then the other thing that happened yesterday or over the weekend, is it Monday? What the fuck
Yes,
day is
it's
it?
Monday.
Today's Monday.
It's Monday.
How do you get to be Monday again? God, it was just Monday last week. Anyway, so praise. Fuck.
Oh Jesus! Yeah.
He went on this big thing where he had a private conversation with Stinky, and then praise decided that everybody else was evil except for Stinky, and then like within like 8 hours he reversed that completely and then went after Stinky Snake we're talking about, and then last night they did a thing mentioning John Maddox's name, which of course he's made public, and calling him a coward and whatever. And they went on for like 30 minutes, and Maddox got on there, and he was truly the maddest ox I've ever heard in my life. And it was like the most precious thing. And he said things like, "You're making my flesh rise up, and take my fucking name down, and you motherfucker." And he was going on about how he wanted, he wanted, who the hell is it? Ryan, the Presbyterian. He says, "What's your address? Where do you live?" And Ryan says, "Why do you want to know that?" And it's like, "I want to punch you in the face." And it's just like, oh my. And it went on for like 20 minutes of John just raging. And basically he was raging at them because they dared to say that he condoned Smokey, which, I should have said Stinky, that he condoned Stinky. But yeah, he insisted that he didn't condone him. But then this morning he's on Stinky's fucking stream. And I'm like, okay, doesn't that fly in the face of you not condoning him? And anyway, the stuff that's been going on with Praise, and Praise is like, he's actually a decent guy, but he tends to be a little bit gullible. And he tends to go with like a lot gullible. He's like a noodle, He blows whichever way the wind is blowing. And I'm surprised he doesn't convert to atheism when he's talking to atheists, tell you the truth. But anyway,
that poor man is fucked up.
What the fuck is going on with these Christians?
Somebody told me yesterday that there was a live stream there, and then John Maddox got really furious. Quantum John, I think you call him, Leophilius.
I would love to watch that. I would love to watch that.
Apparently he took it offline before anybody could download it.
Yeah.
Well, Randolph, some people do have recordings of that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some people have the recording. So.
Oh, make sure they get in touch with Peter. Peter's looking for a copy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you, poor Praise. I mean,
Is he
the
on
man, he just can't keep himself together. That guy, it prays. He, like you said, he just flip flops on everything, and he's like just destroying his channel. The poor guy. I mean, I really feel
Well, and he
bad
keeps
for
putting
him.
Gavin. He keeps putting Gavin Hurleman in to be a moderator, and Gavin kicks
Right.
people that he doesn't agree with, and that's
Who
why.
are we talking about here?
Praise.
Who's doing
Praise
this?
I am that I am.
Although,
Yeah.
praise.
I feel like if Praise would just detach himself from Gavin, I don't think that Praise would have. I would obviously disagree with him deeply on a lot of things, but I think he would have a slightly better channel. I don't think that Praise is really that bad of somebody to have a discussion with.
Right.
It's when
I agree.
Gavin's around that
Exactly.
he just cuts off any form of discussion. I've
Exactly.
actually had a couple of
Yeah.
pretty good discussions with
Oh.
Praise. I only had them because Gavin was not present.
Oh, Gavin
Right.
does more than that. He stands up with no pants on. He's doing all
Mhm.
kinds of weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't want
Let
to
me get off of that. We don't need to
I
keep
think-
talking about him like that.
I think poor Praise is like, for some reason, he feels like he just can't like run his channel by himself. Like, you know, people have begged and pleaded with him, just do your own thing, Praise. Do what you want to do. And every single time you turn around, he has to have somebody else with administrative powers. He's given it to, you know, he gives it to Gavin. He gives it to the Baptist Chad there, the young kid. He's got Bob Algotha. Now he brought in Ryan the Presbyterian there. I mean, that guy's probably the worst. Look at the mess he's made in 24 hours.
Can I correct a comment really quickly that Immutable Destiny made? I never once stated that I was more educated than Craig. I stated that he does not like debating people, lay people especially, that are more educated than him on a subject. I am more educated than Dr. Craig is on cosmology. It isn't pretentious to say that because it's a fact and I can demonstrate it, especially given that I understand the BVG theorem and he doesn't, despite the fact that he's been corrected on it by actual PhD cosmologists on several occasions and hasn't once accepted the correction. Yes, I am significantly more well educated than Dr. Craig is on cosmology. That's a fact. It's not pretentious to make that statement.
So, anyway. Back to Praise. Yeah. Oh, you're muted there, boss man. Boss man, you're muted. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay. The thing is that Praise has riveting content. I mean, like, just give this a listen. This content, this particular conversation lasted for 5 or 6 hours this morning.
Yeah, I know. This is funny.
So that went on for like, I think 6 hours, something like that. It's an 8-hour stream. I think they were talking for 2.5 hours, and then it was Gavin snoring.
Fucking piece
For-
of shit.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry,
Jesus.
my phone is. Let me just mute.
Yeah, that's Gavin. He does that a lot.
Awesome.
That happens a lot. Yep.
Yeah, that kind of riveting commentary you can't get anywhere else but Praise's channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I guess he just doesn't take the time to edit. Like, he just won't take the time to edit that out.
No, because it's well, if you do it with YouTube, it takes about 4 hours for the damn thing to process it and update it. So he doesn't like that. But
yeah.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
but then okay, so 2 Saturdays in a row, I've had drama on my channel or drama brought to me, and I was pretty upset and depressed about it. But invariably, something like last night where Maddox came on raging will happen to me. And I'm like dancing around the room like it's my fucking birthday. Or it's just like, oh my God, it was just like Christmas morning. And the other time is when Otangelo brought us that paper, that directly I mean, like when I'm at my lowest point in YouTube, provider bullshit, somebody, those guys
right up. Yep.
We need to frame that moment. We need to find that moment where he cited that paper and you made him read the quote from the paper he cited that showed that what he was saying about the paper is wrong. And we need to frame it because that was beautiful.
I need to run that. I need to edit that clip. So
yes, I remember
still
watching it because I don't think I was in the room, at least not at the beginning for that. I think I came in later, but I was watching it. Speed's like, "You see what I have highlighted here, Potential? Can you read that for us?" And he was reading it, and I could tell in the tone of his voice how it changed as he's reading it. Dude, I was literally crying, laughing. I was like, "Oh, this is so good."
Yeah. Boy, you know, all the look at Untangelo, all the you can really see the change in him since he started affiliating with Darth too. I can see it a little bit. It's getting worse and worse with him.
You know, my mama used to tell me who I hang out with is going to have an effect on me, and I think these guys, their mama must not have told them that. They didn't learn that lesson.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so
you guys I mean, praise, back to praise. I mean, that poor guy, I don't know what it is about him. He just refuses to run his channel alone. Like, why? I don't understand. If he could just do that, he would be fine. But he just refuses to do it, and he's just destroying his channel. It's sad.
You want me to? Do you want me to show that response from Craig?
Yeah, if you want to, you can.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on a second. Let's see.
It wasn't really much of a response. He just provides a bunch of quote mines that don't actually rebut what I stated, because my statement is itself a rebuttal to his attempted rebuttal of that statement.
Okay. And I think it's really ironic that he called you smug because
but that's something that he does. He does that when he's responding to especially like lay atheists. He always tries to poison the well with his readers before he ever dives into response. We'll talk about, he tries to paint them as this typical angry atheist that, you know, is so pretentious. They think they know so much more than everybody else because they're an atheist. He's always poisoning the well like that when he's responding to lay atheists. But then he's the one claiming that they're being arrogant.
I find Dr. William Lane Craig to be somewhat on the immature side when it comes to talking about atheism. He's always got this smirk and this chuckle of sarcasm and contempt in his voice whenever he mentions atheists or atheism, and then he goes back to talking like normal otherwise. Like, he thinks the whole thing is a joke. Like, we're a seriously large demographic throughout the world, and he's laughing at the whole group of us as if we are pointless and meaningless to him. And okay, but don't go telling the rest of the world it should be like this. So I don't have respect for him when it comes to this kind of thing, because he's just he pushes the burden of proof on us and does all kinds of other crazy stuff, and it's just your typical theist the way I see it.
How you guys doing?
Hey,
great.
I just came in to let you guys know that Ryan the Presbyterian is no longer on Praise's channel.
Oh my God!
Last night.
Yeah, that happened already. Yeah.
So what's going to happen today?
The update. Yeah.
So today, Ryan the Presbyterian is going to be back, and and Praise won't be there, and I don't know. It's hard to predict what they're going to do next.
Right.
This is like the fastest moving soap opera that I've ever encountered. I bet you Netflix would fucking would greenlight this thing for Praise. Really?
Well, I think it's because of LPP and Ryan got into it because Praise had a video earlier yesterday. It was only like a half hour long.
Yeah, we all saw it.
Yeah. And right after that, he did another video saying Ryan was no longer on the channel.
Hey, if you had to choose one of these YouTube theists that you think was gay, which one would it be?
Smokey Saint.
All of them?
Smokey.
A lot of them.
The sticky taint.
A lot of them.
He seems to be the most aggressive at pushing it back and reacting very weirdly to anything that even hints toward anything sexual.
He's got a very weird laugh. Like, it hurts my ears.
Did you hear John? John slipped on that. He was raging. I think it was it during his rage? I can't remember now. Yes, it was yesterday. Earlier today, he was raging, and he
Freudian
said,
slip.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, he insulted. Oh, what was it? He insulted my what do the Christians call it? The salvation. He said he insulted, sexual orientation or something. However he put it. Yeah, that was funny.
Those guys. I think the guilt is getting to them. The Christian guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do a video on this.
I am doing a video. The fact that he's saying, "Oh, and don't you think that you should cite your sources properly?" Yeah, because commenting on fucking Facebook requires professional academic level citation.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my god!
In my opinion, it's 100% Matt Powell is in the closet.
Yeah, that one would not surprise me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. Yep, he needs to get right with himself.
Got to get right with Jesus. People? Walking the green mile. Get right with Jesus.
I have a very fine-tuned gaydar, so I know these things.
Yeah.
Saying, why are we attacking the people?
Who have we attacked?
I mean, we're calling them.
Who did we call? Like, who did we call names and what names?
Is calling somebody gay an attack on them?
Yeah, is calling somebody gay can only be an attack if you presume that there's something negative about being gay. I don't see anything wrong with being gay. There's nothing negative about that. So ascribing that to somebody in a facetious manner, I don't think is really offensive in any meaningful sense of that word.
Yeah, but there is something personally wrong.
A murderer, that would be offensive because there's obviously something negative about being a murderer.
There's a lot personally wrong with what Matt Powell says and does. And you can only attack the person because he's too stupid to have an argument that you could attack.
He doesn't even make arguments. There's nothing to attack but the dumb shit that he says and how stupid that he said it.
Yeah, he's
just
an idiot.
Repeats Kent Hovind arguments.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, and even worse, what the hell was the one about? He keeps bringing up the lobster thing, the lobster from outer space article.
What?
And,
fuck is this?
No,
I know he said that dinosaurs farted themselves into extinction, and I looked up what his source was, and it was a FoxNews.com article, and then I found the actual scientific paper that article linked to, and all the article said was that the herbivorous dinosaurs their methane output contributed to climate change during the Mesozoic era, but it didn't say anything about that causing their extinction. And that was just the era that the dinosaurs went extinct in. I could be wrong about the name of the era, but the article never said anything about them contributing to their own extinction from farting. He just made that shit up.
Brainbug, I believe the proper plural is octopi. It's actually octopodes, but I still prefer octopi because it sounds cooler. Yeah, but Paul, I'm assuming the name is actually Paul, and the V is kind of more of a traditional, more of a Latin U. If you read that article, Dr. Craig's response, I'm assuming it is actually Dr. Craig providing the response. The way that it reads definitely feels like that's Bill writing it. He doesn't really provide much of a response to what I said. He just kind of pulls up. He does the very thing that he's accusing me of doing, which is misrepresenting it, but then claiming, oh, well, I've talked with all these professionals, so I understand it. But Dr. Craig does exactly that. Number one, obviously, he misunderstands it. Numerous professionals have pointed that out. But then he claims, oh, well, I talked with James Sinclair and George Ellis and James Hartle about this stuff. So yeah, he's just doing the exact same thing that he's accusing me of. And then he just pulls some quote mines from some professionals and claims that therefore I'm wrong. But he didn't provide a substantive rebuttal to the information that I shared. Such as that both Alan Guth and Arvind Borde, who are two of the three authors of the Borde-Vilenkin-Guth theorem, have worked on models for an eternal universe. So if their theorem somehow proved that the universe must have an absolute beginning, like Dr. Craig says, then what use would it be to the very authors who proved that claim to work on models of an eternal universe? And why would Alan Guth state, because he has stated this, and Sean Carroll pointed this out in his debate with Dr. Craig, Alan Guth believes that the universe is likely eternal. So explain that. Also, Victor Stenger once asked Alexander Vilenkin, does your theorem prove that the universe must have a beginning? And Alexander Vilenkin responds with, no, but it does prove that the expansion of the universe must have had a beginning. And there's an article from PhD theoretical astrophysicist Ethan Siegel where he says the same thing. But Dr. Craig did not respond to any of this. He did not respond to me explicating what geodesic incompleteness means and how that's something different from space-time itself physically coming into a state of existence. He did not address any of that. He just shared some quote mines and then offhandedly dismissed my thorough and quite explicative response. My assumption would be because he probably couldn't reasonably contend with it.
Wow.
I accept cookies.
How do
I
you,
accept
how do you
all
talk
cookies.
for so long like that? I don't understand it.
What?
Okay.
My mouth would get dry. Like I would run out of saliva.
Beer.
I got a question, guys, for you youngins. I have a question from like an old man to you youngins. It keeps saying accept cookies on the bottom of my webpage, and I never get any cookies. I always accept them.
Yeah.
I never get
sent any cookies.
I never get any fucking cookies. What the hell is up with that? So where's this paper? Okay, there was a paper done by a bunch of basically nutters that I think they were nutters. Somebody could correct me about
I'm just getting hungry now.
Octopuses. You like octopus?
I like cookies and
No, he's talking about
nutters.
cookies. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, octopus cookies are. Oh yeah, or octopus on crackers. Well, they're kind of like cookies, but anyway, I accepted the cookies. I'm waiting for my fucking cookies.
They come on Christmas Eve, Speed. They come on Christmas Eve, and then you leave them for Santa.
Yeah.
So look for them then.
Okay.
The other day, I baked some cookie brownie mixed together thing. It was really good.
Facts about octopus that prove that they're aliens. Will somebody tell me? I never looked into this paper other than that Dennis Noble got into a little bit of trouble for allowing this paper to be published. But I never quite looked into what the fuck they were talking about.
Is it something to do with them?
With the ganglia and octopus arms, like
I think, yeah, they look like that.
They have brains in their arms or something like that. Like their brains are spread out through their
Yeah, but I
body.
thought there's something to do with their DNA, right? There's something that separates their DNA.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that think that holds up.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what they're referring. That's what all the Christians are referring to. That because somebody made that comment that because there's something different about their DNA or whatever it is, and then some scientist said, "Well, maybe this is a second form of life on Earth that was deposited by an asteroid." So I think that's how it all kind of started, right?
What, like an octopus riding an asteroid and landing on Earth?
Well, yeah, well, or
they confuse panspermia with like an actual animal being on a meteorite. Like Matt Powell has said this shit before.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's
okay. Yeah. So here's the actual paper. Let's see.
I'm still waiting for these cookies, Speed.
I know. I don't know when they're like I say, I've been accepting cookies for a long time and they never come in the mail, so I wouldn't wait too long.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry for oatmeal raisin cookies.
Trust you. Okay, this is the group, and PZ Myers did a little thing on this in his Pharyngula blog, which I could probably find if I Googled a little bit. But anyway, he found that like a lot of these people, I think some of them are in this family, they're related, and they were considered. Yeah, these Wallaces are considered a little bit wacko, I think. I don't know. Yeah, Wallaces, like walruses. Except Wallace's right there. Oh, you can't see that shit, can you?
Speaking of cookies, I spent $75 this year on Girl Scout cookies. You think that was too much?
I know it was. Yeah,
$75 I spent this year
on what?
Sounds like
Girl Scout cookies.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Why would that be not okay?
Aren't they $10 a box or $5 a box?
Yeah, no, I think they're like 5 or 6, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like 5 or there's like I think they're $5 a box, $6 a box.
They give you a discount if you buy 3 boxes.
No, I don't see anything wrong. I'm saying I think I bought too many cookies because I ate too many cookies. That was my point. not buying them from the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, I basically don't take home Girl Scout cookies at all. In fact, I'll just give a donation for an equivalent amount.
Yeah, just do
cookies.
that.
Yeah.
So where's CRISPR when we need him so he could tell us what the hell the deal is?
Crispy. Where's Crispy?
Oh, CRISPR. He might be
Crispy.
actually working or something.
We need to start referring to people by our nicknames. Like Randolph, he's Randy. And CRISPR is Crispy. Scott could be Scotty.
I call Erica Gibbo.
No, that's not my nickname. My nickname is Godfather of Atheism.
Yeah. I love that one.
Yeah, well,
I like T-Jump as the jumpster.
This is the president of Canadian atheists. We need Peter here. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm really excited. Randolph has a really big board because I've been worried about polar bears attacking him.
I'd say that right now Randolph is being very much a constructive atheist.
Randolph has got wood.
There you go.
He's a constructive realist.
Yeah, constructive realist.
I did have to cut the tip off of this wood so it would fit.
Okay. Oh, you got a roof up there. Cool. I didn't see that before.
Oh yeah. I was on B, not just B stream the other day, and I was up on the roof doing it, and I had the laptop up on the roof showing what I'm doing. I'm up there barefoot, screwing it all in, doing it all, getting it all done carefully. Yeah. It's solid up there. It's because I've got a good framing for the roof and everything. So you
gotta get that polar bear barrier up in back of you because, I mean, I know it would do a lot for my channel, especially if at the end of the mauling I could say, "Oh, he's okay."
Yeah, I do hope I survive a polar bear attack if it ever happens.
Yeah, he's okay.
And I hope I survive well.
Yeah. Always worry about that. Anyway. So what else, boys and girls? What else could we talk about? We covered everything.
Me and Randolph were talking about power tools and ladders on my stream last night, and then I started doing impressions of Hank Hill.
Yeah, I saw that. I was watching.
Oh yeah, I tell you, Atheist Jr. does a solid Hank Hill impersonation.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's not as solid as clean burning propane. I tell you what.
I got into the tool stuff because, as I told you, Randolph, that's what I do for a living. So I'm definitely a tool fanatic.
It was one of the most manly discussions I've ever had.
David's given me some good tips already. It's been very helpful. Thank you, David.
Yeah, you're welcome. If I was nearby, I'd come over and help you, but a little too far of a drive for me.
Oh, I know you would. There's a lot of people like B said she'd be helping me. Like all these people help. This would probably be done in like a week.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, I know it. You'd have all kinds of volunteers. Yeah.
I'm quite grateful for that. I think it's wonderful. I appreciate the thought that people wanting to do it, and I believe everybody really would too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I would. I haven't been working that much. It's been pretty slow with me, and I'm kind of not really in my retirement, but kind of doing a semi-retirement because of COVID. So it's like, you know what? I work 7 days a week for almost my entire life, so I'm enjoying it.
No, I'm looking forward to those days myself, but they're quite a ways away from me yet. But because I still need to earn money. But I went to Home Depot just yesterday or the day before yesterday to buy some 4x8 plywood because I ran out, and holy cow, the price has doubled since 2 weeks ago. It's incredibly bad.
Yeah, the same with the price of beef steak.
Yeah,
I mean, God, it's ridiculous. So I'm planning on going on a meat and fat diet, and I can't afford porterhouse anymore, so I don't know what I'm going to do. So I had to buy shrimp.
How are you going to grill that meat, Speed?
Don't
fucking say charcoal. I tell you what.
Charcoal. On charcoal.
Charcoal is better than
made my
propane for
shit
grilling.
list.
Yeah, I use a whole bag of charcoal, and I get it so that it's white hot, and then I just fly the steak over the grill for about a flyby, and that's it. And then it's done.
I'm about to vomit. I'm about to vomit, Speed.
Oh, we
I've
got
been on
somebody
a
in the
kick
back
since-
room, AJ, but I can't bring him in because I promised you I wouldn't.
Is it Danny?
Oh,
Danny, yeah.
I mean, you don't have to promise me. I mean,
Well, I
I mean-
promised myself to earlier that I wouldn't.
yeah. I say don't fucking do it.
Yeah. Not today. Of course, we have nothing else to talk about, and that's usually where
Poor
Danny shows
Danny.
up.
Poor
And then
Danny.
the show goes on for about 3 or 4 hours after that. So
Yeah.
I wonder
but,
if Danny's been in
I-
the YouTube chat.
It's funnier if he has to sit there and wait.
Well, the thing is, if he comes in now after you talking about him earlier, he's going to come in hot, and I'm going to have to boot him anyway.
Yeah.
So, Danny, I don't want to do that to you today.
Well, if
don't
I
wanna do-
talk
I
to
don't
him,
wanna
me-
do that.
If I talk to him, he's good. I seem to get along with him pretty good, and I could talk.
You're like a Danny whisperer.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, I don't know if I would say that, but I do enjoy talking with him. I learn stuff, and you know, I mean, a lot of his conversations are, they do have some value to them. I mean, truly,
I like
you
one-on-one.
hate to see him getting in all these fights. Yeah.
Yeah, I like one-on-one conversations with Danny.
Yeah.
Danny. Okay, why would you not let me in? Well, because I know you're going to start a fight with somebody. That's why I don't want to do it today. We've had enough fucking drama in the Christian community. We do not need it to bleed over here.
Yeah. He's like playing dumb. Like, why would you not want me to come to your stream?
Yeah,
Like, why the fuck do you think?
Yeah,
Because of how you act.
I don't start drama. You just finish it, Danny. You finish it for like 3 hours. Anyway, we don't need no drama today.
Save
Fuck
that drama for your
drama.
mama. I
Drama
wanted to
llama.
listen to that to LPP raging. I thought
Yeah,
there
that
was
would have been
somebody
fun.
that's clip.
Oh yeah, I wish I could play that, but I'm just not sure about the ethics of doing that. Somebody
Why?
has to talk to me about
Praise
it.
deleted it. Is that why?
Yeah, he made it.
Well-
Yeah, he deleted it.
Would you?
Well,
play
what
it
was the raging
offline
about?
At least?
It's already hey, honestly, Speed, I would play it. And the reason why I say it's already public. It's on another
Yeah,
channel.
I mean,
The
these
whole
are
thing.
thieves.
So
I'm thinking.
it's already out there. So
I mean, as long as
it's
we're
not-
offering
you
some
said-
sort
you
of
said it
criticism
yourself,
of it or
play a little
something
bit
along
of it
those
or whatever,
lines,
but
David,
it will
have you got a
fall
link
under
for the other
fair
channel?
use.
You got a link for that other channel, David?
Yeah, what other channel?
Yeah.
Like, did you find out where he played it?
Let's
But
do
yeah,
it.
but that other channel is that stinky channel, isn't it?
Yes, it's on there. I was in the middle of it, and that's when I got kicked off. I was starting to look for it, and my internet kind of went out on me for a second. But do you want me to look for it? I can go get it if you want. I mean, I
thought that
didn't
Speed
say
already
anything,
had
but
it.
Yeah, well, no, I have it through. Basically, it was buffered on my phone, so I managed to
does that
get
mean?
27. I got 27 minutes of it.
What do you mean it was buffered?
Oh, when the iPhone downloads a YouTube video, it buffers like 30 minutes if you got a big iPhone. And so it'll buffer 30 minutes of YouTube content. So if somebody takes it down, as long as you don't touch anything and refresh, you can play the whole damn video, even though it's gone private. So I just played it into a microphone and recorded it.
Yeah.
That's a good
I mean,
idea.
I get what you're saying about the ethics. I certainly understand that, but it's already out there. So, I mean,
Yeah, I have to be sure of that before I leak it, because it is really damaging to Maddox. He doesn't realize it. He thinks he really handled himself well. He
yeah,
was
it's
raging.
bad.
Speed, do you think if the situation was reversed that Maddox would hold back from playing it?
He
No.
wouldn't. I know. That's the thing. He wouldn't.
Of course not.
But there's this who's the bigger man, or who wants to be the bigger man.
Will you play it when we go
Bigger
offline
person.
at least?
Oh, I will.
Okay.
I fucking will. Yeah. Yeah, and I'll consider it. I'm definitely going to cut some clips, because especially the part where he says his flesh is rising up. You made my flesh rise up. Like
Yeah.
what the what? Now, if you just heard that out of context, what would you think? Why do Christians always talk about their flesh? Like it's like I always think, I grew up in a butcher shop, right? So like when they say your flesh, I get these like really creepy connotations. I don't know. I wish they'd quit talking about their flesh. I mean, that really disturbs me.
So what do you think? I mean, we've got to wait and see what happens with this, right? I mean, see if anybody else puts it out there or whatever.
Yeah.
And if it ends up all over the place, we got to do a stream, do a weather report and put a big
warning.
Do your thumbnail with like fireworks or something and say, "Congratulations, John, you have now made the weather report." And we'll do that. Play the whole thing on the weather report. Congratulations, you did it, John.
The star.
So was
You're the star, yeah.
Was John actually yelling and screaming? John Maddox?
Oh yeah, he was raging.
Just
raging.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Worse than you have seen anybody. It was bad.
Oh, he can hold a candle to Darth Dawkins, can he?
Yeah.
It was worse. It was way worse than Dawkins. Way worse. Yeah, he was raging.
Wow.
Threatening.
I wish I joined that stream. That would have been fun to try to calm him down.
He actually.
I don't think you could have. Praise tried over and over to calm him down. And he just turned it right back up again. It was just incredible. I was just like, oh my God, this is like candy for an atheist.
What was he angry about?
The name of the stream, I can show you that much. I've got that on. Hang on a second. And they originally had Maddox's name on it, which is public. So I don't really understand. Cat, go away! Come on, God damn it, Cat! No,
that's
I'm trying to use my mouse.
Yeah, but it's because of the way they did it, because they actually used his name, that enraged him, even though that is public and he knows it is, but it's just because of the way they did that, and the whole thing was just. And then for Ryan,
Maddox going on a live stream and then saying stuff on a public live stream, right? I mean, that's
so this there it is. It's already changed. See, it's already changed.
Yeah, they already changed it from his name.
They changed it.
That screenshot there, I can see why he'd be mad about that.
Yeah.
Well, it said John Maddox before.
Praise and John Maddox in his streams, he will misspell my name with a PH. And then
that's not any worse than the stuff LPP says about atheists all the time. Like the name calling he does. Like, don't dish it out if you can't take it.
But what I did was I asked very politely if he can correct my name. He said, "Yeah, come on to the stream." I said, "I'll come on the stream if you correct the spelling of my name." And then he turned it into this big thing like I'm all upset about it. I really wasn't. I didn't care. I just thought it'd be a considerate thing to do.
Right.
Oh, well, that's the way he is. He does those childish things. And
try asking him for a paper.
Yeah, it's kind of
back up his
not
claims.
completely out of character for him to act the way he did, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's like asking Danny for data to back up his claims. You're just never going to get it.
Yeah.
And John, if you end up reviewing this part of the video, please say hello to your audience for me.
Yeah, one of these days we got to do a big stream about him. So congratulations, John, you've made it. This would be a good one, and it's so funny how he's always talking. He's always saying, "Wow, geez, we're just giving the atheists, fuel, and we're giving them something to talk about, and why are we acting like idiots?" And he's always saying, "We need to stop this drama," but yet he jumps right in. I mean, you can certainly understand why he did it in this circumstance because of, they directly attacked him, but there was other situations where he could have completely stayed out of it, and he jumps right in the middle of it anyway.
Yeah, but they weren't calling him a pedophile or anything like Stinky does. All they were saying is that he supports Stinky, and he won't denounce him, right? And so his argument was that no, I don't do that. But then this morning he spends an hour on his stream doing that. Supporting him. And it's like, oh my God. Like, the interesting thing is that almost everything that happened, even what happened to us last Saturday night, in the last Snada with Knock coming in, that was all basically that all started with Stinky. So he is like he is this I don't know what he's like this igniter for all these communities. And I'll be goddamn, we cannot get it. The atheists need to stay the fuck out of this battle and just let it roll. They'll burn themselves out eventually, but my goodness,
it is amazing how much they fight. I mean, they just been fighting for months and months now.
But it all started with it all started with that Jessie the conservative. What the hell's her name? The
woman there.
Yeah. What is her other name? She has another name.
It may seem kind of ironic, but I think they've all got this holier than thou complex, and perhaps they're from different denominations, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the problem is. Yep, you're exactly right. And they're constantly fighting over it. They get in some pretty heated battles sometimes. A lot of times it's fairly calm and they're battling over it, but sometimes it gets pretty heated. And that's what I find amazing about it is it's so stupid. They're fighting over the Bible on how you interpret a verse. Like I just find that so stupid.
So I need a link, Chris Peacock. I don't know if you can hear me, if you're listening yet. Link to Nephilim's debate. So apparently Otangelo gets a little artsy. He must be from that other place over the pond on the other side.
He may be practicing to sound like Darth.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll take a look at that. I'll take a look at that video, Chris, and maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. But who is it? Otangelo and Nephilim Free? Oh, after show. Okay, I'll find it and I'll check it out. But you guys want to go offline and give that thing a listen?
Ken, you want to do that now?
Yes, please.
We pretty much have nothing. We pretty much have nothing else happening today. So, sorry to the viewers out there, but I have ethical concerns. So anyway,
that's okay.
I don't want to. Yeah, I have to.
Setting a good example for them.
I have to figure out what I want to do about that. So anyway, I think as a courtesy, basically to praise, if nobody else, because like I say, I don't think he's a bad guy at all. He tries to please everybody, and the poor guy is getting fucking run over. It's just it's just not.
He really is. Yeah.
And like just their abuse of him alone is reason to damn them all. I mean, God. They're all using them basically for their own shit, and I don't know.
Yeah. What is it about praise? Is he just afraid to run his channel alone?
No, he's a particular kind of person that tries to accommodate, and I think he actually tries to stretch his mind around any idea, and except for atheism.
Right. That is true. Yep.
Yeah, and he's just trying to accommodate, right? And he ends up getting but then every now and then he gets a stick up his ass about somebody, and somebody convinces him that somebody's evil, and then he goes off on it. And I don't know, the guy.
Well, do you notice that lately that he's been doing a lot of that? Like just in the past, I don't know, like week, almost every stream, or he's been doing a lot of streams. I'm calling out this person. I'm calling out, he's been calling out atheists too, but it's like he's focused on, I want to call out this person, call out that person, call out this person. He's been doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
So he seems to be on that little kick. So, and that's not doing him any favors because he's not very good at it.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
Okay, guys, I'm going to end the weather report. So,
okay.
Anybody have any last words? Okay. Thank you, Topdawg. I always overtalk you when you do that.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm apologizing to you. Okay. Let's see. Goodbye, cruel world. So.
you.